Welcome back to part 16. I said I was going to do the surface finishing, but I thought I'd throw in a little extra one on fitting the tool holders because I'm going to fit mine now just for the saws to start off with. So I've got this one piece. I don't want to make up another one, it's just something I've got left. A piece of oak, it's 640 long, and I want to fit these same set of 3 saws in. So I'm going to work out so that these will probably be a little bit smaller. They don't need to be that long. And so that I can get 6 out of that one piece. And then I'm going to get them drilled, countersunk, spaced out neatly and get those fitted up. So I've cut those pieces down. So I've gone 75, 125, 75, 125, 75, and the bit that was left is, I think it's about 150. So I think that'll work well, but I've just remembered why I didn't use this piece the last time I fitted out a tool chest, and that is this sort of 7 and a bit mil groove is ideal for putting these in. It sits in really nicely. However, the backs on these saws are about 9.5 mil. So therefore they won't just sit into the top there. Whereas the ash ones that I used last time are about 10 mil, and the backs of the saws fit into them very nicely. So before I fit them, I'm just going to widen the grooves on the smaller top pieces. And then I'm just going to lay them out on the inside of the tool chest so that I get a decent space in, countersink them and get them screwed in. So again, as with all these woodworking things, there's lots of different ways to do it. I just want to make this groove a bit wider. I could do knife lines on the top, I could marking gauge the top, use a mortise gauge. I could then chisel it. I could put the small piece on a router if I wanted to. Actually, it gives me a chance to use my Stanley number 79, which I can set the depth fence for the depth of the groove. And then you can use this both ways. You've got a cutter for pushing one way, cutter for pushing the other way. So it becomes double-sided. So I've marked a pencil line. These are going to go up above the saw. You're not going to see them. If one of them's slightly wider than the other, it won't make a bit of difference. All we want is a nice clean finish and the back of the saw to be able to fit into it. So I'll give them a trim on both sides and then just keep testing them against the saw. I should have said it's a side rebate plane. So I can come in there, keep it flat up against the side this way, keep it as best as I can with the fence on the depth, and then just push along and just start to take shavings. So you can already see the difference between the two now, and I've still not gotten down to my pencil lines. So that's enough. Made that wider. I'll give it a little sand in there, just take the edges. But if I now put that just sits in there nicely now. So I'll do the other two. Just getting close to the line. Fits in lovely. That's how quick it takes. You know, it's not long. A couple of minutes. By the time I'd have gone and got set the router up, I could have already done it. Okay, so they're all sitting there, fitting in nicely now. So now I'm just going to have a look, and I'll probably just take these corners off. I was going to curve them, but I'll just take a 45-degree across, or maybe a slightly different angle, and then just clean the edges up so there's no sharp edges, and then I'll get them drilled and fitted. So all I've done here is just a little mock-up. They're just literally balancing on top of each other. Don't worry about the spacings this way, I've just put them on. And you can see I'm probably going to be short of space at the top, because if I measure from here to here on the smaller saw, which is what I've got to put another one up there, it's 145, and I think I'm left with 115. So I need to lose 30 mil. Well, I've got 6 pieces of wood, so I could take 5 mil off each. And I actually probably want to take a little bit more off, because you want a little bit of wriggle room. And actually I probably want to spread these. At the minute, they're all, the weight is on them. I want them to be a couple of mil so that the saws are easier to go in and out. But obviously if I take 5 mil off this one, 5 mil off that one, the handles then become 10 mil closer. So you just have to bear that in mind. Whereas I'm probably better off on the bottom one taking 10 or 15 off the bottom one, or maybe not 15, but 10, because there's nothing down below there. That one can drop down, and then I can put it back in, adjust my way up. And actually it's quite nice to have, we don't want the handle fouling on the top, and it's quite nice to have a little gap there, so that if ever you do want to readjust them and move them apart, so a bit like this one here. So there's about a 10 mil gap at the top there. So doing a little mock up there and just working out your sizes is a good thing, because now I can just rip those, either hand saw them or just push them through the bandsaw. So I'll start adjusting them now. Right, that looks better. Again, the line up, they're just balanced on top of each other. But now I've got clearance at the top. The oak doesn't look as bulky, and I haven't even took the corners off yet. So I think I did end up taking 15 mil off the one at the bottom. And then I've took 10 mil off the other pieces, just to keep it balanced. Clearance at the top, clearance at the bottom, clearance between the saws. And all the little pieces that have come off, I'll actually use these for making matching toggles for the coping and fret saws. Whatever saws I decide to put in the lid, I'll probably put the same. So now I'm going to take the corners off them, quick sand, drill them and put them in. So as with all these things, it's sort of evolving and seeing what I like as I go. So I've took the angle off the bottom one and I've screwed that in. This oak is 20 mil thick, so I've been able to countersink and then put 30 mil screws in, and they haven't come out the top. Top's 12, so I'm okay. This is just sitting on top again, and I've decided on the tops of these, I'm not going to put an angle on, because this just sits completely up against that anyway, so it looks like one. So whereas on that one, it's a little bit angles everywhere, I'm just going to put an angle on the bottom one, leave the ones on the top of each saw until I get to the very top, because that's in nowhere, and then I'll put some angles on that one. So I worked out where I wanted the bottom one for balance, marked it out with a pencil. I've done that, and then I'm going to centralise this one in the middle of it, and then I can centralise that one off it, but I'll check the other saw on for balance first, just see where everything sits, and then work my way up so I've got symmetry, and just do the angles as I go. Nearly done now. So fitted, and then there's a centre line on here which matches up, so I can put that on until there's a centre line on that one. When I'm in the right place, buzz 2 screws into there, put the saw in, put the top one on, and just make sure I've got the right amount of room to get it in and out easily, pencil the height of it, and then centralise it again, put the top one in, and the top one I'll put angles on just to match the bottom. But I think they look better actually with those 2 there left square. All fixed. I've left the top one square because it matches the other 3 and I like the look of it. So we can pop bottom one in, next one in, next one in. There we go. And the little bits that I've got left I'll make for the toggles and I'll fit into there. So I didn't intend to do 16 on fitting the tool holders, but I just thought it's a good option. I like these, they're just chunkier ash. Now they look a little bit more clunky when that oak is polished up and I get some ruby and monocoat on those. And I've done the inside, that's going to look really nice, and they slide in there nice, and there's good spacings. So I just thought while I was doing it, I might as well video it. It might help somebody with the way you lay yours out. So I will see you in part 17, where I will start to look at surface finishing, but no doubt I'll probably end up doing a little bit of the saws that go in there. So I'll see you in 17. Thanks for watching.